I'm back again, finally. Hey, well, that's a good start. RJ says, I'm back, coughs, clears his throat, and has some coffee. I, yes, in one of the mugs. I may have had this one before, but it's all different pictures of Goofy. There he is with his tablet drawing. So I thought this would be great. I was getting everything ready here, and I thought, this is great. I've got all kinds of time. I'm doing it right. And then I just looked at my phone to check the time accurately, and so it was 2 minutes after 4. So I am here, and oh look, yeah, B, Kel, Larry, hi everybody. It's good to have you here, and we're back and up and running. And you're saying, wait a minute, he was painting this guy from the stretch room who's standing on the dynamite keg the last time, which was 4, 5, 6 weeks ago. It seems like forever. As most of you know, we bought this house, this very house, and I have a much bigger studio, which took me longer to get ready than I expected, but I also had to get stuff done in all the other rooms in the house. I couldn't, Suzanne couldn't do it by herself. That wouldn't be fair. I had to help, and I was glad to help. And we've made the house look really, really nice, and it's almost done. Yay! Oh, moving is so much fun. If it hadn't been for about 10 of our very good friends that are also fellow actors, in fact, all of them are in Hamlet uh, with me, and they have much bigger roles than I do. Hamlet opens next week, September 1st, directed by our son Sean and co-directed by my wife Suzanne. Yay! Yes. So here we are, and I am going to paint some today. But even though I was working on one of these before, that one's long gone. I already sent that one off with another stretch room painting to the same person, and this is for obviously somebody else. And on the others, I was painting further down on the body and on the knees. I'm going to paint on the face today. But I got to show you a couple things first. That I had the mug here, and I didn't have any coffee. Mm, mm. We I love Cuisinart coffee pots, and I had one that ground the coffee and everything else for years. And just before we moved, which was just a few weeks ago, it started to leak and act up on us, and so we went looking for a new one. And lo and behold, we found one that was much less expensive, a Cuisinart, but it's a percolator, and it's electric, and it's great. It's nice to have coffee that percolates to the top and down into it, and it just gives a great flavor to the coffee. So I've just done an ad for Cuisinart. Don't run out and buy one. You don't have to. As you know, also I kept missing things, kept losing things like my laptop during the move, and then I couldn't find the cord for the laptop. And a few days ago, I was ready to start painting, and we couldn't find my paint, and we still can't. I found the brushes, everything else, but I have. Suzanne and I went out to Blick yesterday and or 2 days ago, and bought more paints, which means I'll probably find all my other paint sometime in the next couple hours. But that's fine. I'm going to end up using it anyway. I do have a lot of commissions going on, and I want to thank everybody that I'm doing the work for. I've got about 20 paintings lined up, and everybody has been great and very patient, and now I really have to jump in and paint still with quality, but as quickly as possible to get all these pieces of work done, because there's some really fun paintings I'll be working on over the next weeks. And some in blacklight. I'm installing a blacklight actually right up there, midway in the room. I'll be working in blacklight and in regular light for those. And but this room is bigger, thank God. I even have the day bed in here, which this room will double as a guest room, because I have a bathroom of my own now, right off my studio. I just opened the door and there it is. I'm like, yay! Although we also have a full basement, which is nice, and I have a sink down there to clean my brushes in, which makes Suzanne very happy. I won't be doing it in the kitchen sink anymore. So, so I'm, and anyway, and I got to tell you about Hamlet. Oh, just everybody's jumping right in. Hey, everybody. But why don't I, before I tell you the next thing, I want to put a little bit of paint on him right now. And this particular character is a little bit, it's a little bit of yellow skin. So I'm just going to put a base on here first. And then I'll come back and do some other colors. And anyway, I'm going to just stick with the small brush for the moment. Hey, forehead. Here we go. Now, I have been tired for 6 weeks. This is the first week I'm sort of not tired. The rehearsals have been going great. Some of you saw the postings I did from last night. The set, we're very pleased with how it's looking, and the lighting on the show, which is what we did last night. It was a cue to cue for lights and sound. For those of you not familiar with theater, you go to certain points through the play, straight through it, and you just skip lines. You get to where then there's a lighting change or a sound change, and the actors jump into that part right there, and they stand where they're supposed to be, and they say their lines while their lighting is being set and checked. And it also lets the actors know where their light is. So we were doing that. And I am playing the the ghost of King Hamlet. And I also play a gravedigger later on in the show near the end. And it's actually called the clown. It's a very funny part, and I'm clown one. Clown two is one of my grandsons, our youngest, which is our son Sean, is not only directing and co-directing with my wife, but he is playing Hamlet. And Suzanne also is in the show in one part, in a smaller part. And so Sean and I do have a scene together, a very big scene. And he decided it would sound much better, which I agreed, if he recorded my part so they could put it through the speakers, because it's supposed to be a ghost spirit. It's supposed to be very scary. I hope it's scary. I'm going to have this big hood over my head and stuff, and very dark and in magenta light with blue background. It looked really cool. And but when I talk as the king, as the ghost, I do it in a raspy voice and a whisper, and it's I am thy father's spirit, doomed for a certain term to walk the night. Well, we recorded all this last night because I have a real long speech that I do as I'm moving across the stage. And boy, by the time we finished, I needed a lozenge or a drink, one or the other. I said, I don't think I could do this show. We're doing 3 weekends, three shows each week. I don't think I could do it 3 nights in a row. I'd lose my voice. And Sean agreed. I was happy about that. But Sunday night, we will be doing a full run through in costume. First time we'll be in costume, and they're going to be taking pictures. So you'll get to see some pictures of us. When I do the gravedigger, the clown, like I said, Sean's son, our youngest grandson, is actually playing the scene with me, and Sean then comes into the scene. So 3 generations of our family on stage, almost together. point. Actually, we are together at one point. So anyway, so that's happening. And if you're wondering where the show is, it's in Lisle, Illinois, west of Chicago. Our company is Bard in the Burbs, and we will be doing shows Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. And you can go on Facebook to Bard in the Burbs, or you can also go on my website, Susanna, my website, and there's info on there, which I need to actually update. So let me see if any of you have any questions. Anybody asking any questions? Good afternoon. Oh, hi, John. Um, oh, Rosemary Deering. Hi, Rosemary. Long time friend. Hi, in Arizona. Wow. How you doing? And you said finally got to see you live. Yes, here I am. And you know, I have this great light in the studio now, and I thought, well, I'll close the windows so there's no sound. I'm going to get up for a minute and open the window because now it's getting warm in here, and there's a great crossbreed. Don't go away. I'll be right back. Just talk amongst yourselves. Oh, that's better. That helped immediately. This house has a lot of windows. It was built in 1902, and it's been refurbished. We have dark wood floors. Woodwork is original and been all refinished. The kitchen is huge with all new appliances and everything. We're just thrilled. We have a second floor. Suzanne's study is on the second floor. Our master bedroom is up there, another bathroom, and we have a formal dining room, which actually it's right off of my studio right here. So basically now I can just get up and go in and sit down and eat and go into the kitchen, which is right off the dining room, and get coffee. And I'm going to have some more. So, oh, you want to see something cool? You don't see many of these anymore. This is quite old. I think we got this in the 70s at Disney World. And it's, can you read it? It's a movie viewer by Fisher Price. You turn this little crank here, and then there's I'm not going to pull it out because I had two of these still. My daughter and son had these, and the one broke. But it's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, and it's actually the scene where they're washing up in the trough. But you look in here, and you can hear that, yeah. And you actually see the scene. Oh, that's cool. Excuse me while I go play. It's just one of the many crazy things I have in my studio. And anyway. Oh, and I also went out, and when we bought paints, I bought stretchers. Thought I had enough canvas, but apparently I can't find some of my canvas. It's on rolls. So I got to go buy some more canvas. I was going to stretch the painting because I'm redoing. As you know, a painting was damaged by UPS. That went to Texas, and it was Bay Lake and the Contemporary Hotel and Space Mountain and the castle way in the distance and the boat that the family was on in the foreground for Sean and his family, not my son Sean, somebody else. And yeah, UPS smashed it, and it only took them like 5 weeks to finally pay on the insurance. And I'm glad I got insurance on it. I just got it for what I charged to do the painting. So I was going to have it laid out today and say, look, I am redoing it. So I got to go and buy canvas tomorrow. And in the midst of doing all these other paintings, I'm going to be working on that one again so that I can send it again to Texas, and hopefully it'll arrive in one piece. Sean and his family wanted to keep the old one, and I cut out the center so that they get rid of the damaged ends and put it in I think their son's room. But UPS said, no, you can't do that. We're going to keep it. I wonder what somebody did with it. They better not have it hanging in their house, even if it's damaged, I'll tell you. Oh, Larry, you're going to paint the hitchhiking ghosts that I sketched for you for Halloween. Oh, um, do I go with darker and work lighter, or vice versa? When you're working in black light on, you're going to be painting these on wood, I assume. Uh, you want to paint them with white latex paint first, and then you paint with the black light paints. And you have to use latex paints mixed with the probably wildfires, which you're going to use wildfire black light paints, ultraviolet. That'll give you your shading and everything. So yeah, don't paint it black and then try to paint on it. It just makes it even harder. Um, but you do need a white base, and that will make the colors pop as you paint. That was lesson number 1 for today, and all I've gotten done on this guy is put in some of his base colors. Here, we'll put a little color on your lip here. This I have one, two. I have like 4, 5, 6 more stretch room paintings to do amongst all the other paintings I'm doing. So yes, be very busy. But these are fun to do, and one of them I'm actually painting a female member of the family's face into the painting and making these wild changes to it and everything. It's going to be a lot of fun. You'll get to see that when I get to it, but not right away. Now, what was the next thing? Oh, yes. Also, Suzanne and I were just offered to, we were asked to speak at the Disneyana Fan Club in Orlando, Florida in October. And sadly, we had to say we would be busy, tied up with coming off the show and everything that we're doing of Hamlet. And actually, I think we'll still be doing the show. So, no, we won't be going to speak down there. If they were here in Chicago, it would have been a lot easier. So if you're with the Disneyana Fan Club and you want us to come speak in the Chicagoland area or nearby Illinois, whatever, send me a message. It'll be fun. Now that I've got some very strange color on his face here, I will do a little shady. All right, now I'm going to go back over. And like I said, I wish I had 2 laptops in sync here working. That would be so much easier. Or 2 cameras, anyway. Like when I did the videos for Bob Ross. Of course, that was in a professional studio and soundstage. I'm far from it now. So I'm blending in a little bit of burnt umber right here, and then I'm going to add a little bit of a bit of rose color that I mixed. Give him a little bit of color on his forehead here. And if you have not joined me before and are wondering, I am painting in acrylics. And anybody that's new has come on and are wondering, my name is R.J. Ogren. It's Swedish last name. A little bit of highlight over here. So what I will be doing as I paint this figure is, as I work on it, I get my highlights and my shading in, and then I'll go back and do some detail work and finish it off. I've done many portraits over the years, including the stretch room portraits, but I've done a lot of portraits for some famous people like Liza. They were commissioned portraits like Liza Minnelli and Sonny and Cher. A lot of fun. A lot of fun to do. A lot of fun to work with them. And I've done paintings for astronauts, and movie stars. Not so much anymore. All right, let's come down his nose here. Just sing amongst myself here. Okay. Can you see this? Can you all see this okay? I have a devil of a time trying to get it just right to make sure you can see what's going on. And of course, it helps now that I'm in my new studio and I've got 3 huge windows in here, which helps a lot. It's natural lighting. When you saw my other videos, I was in my studio, which was nice, but it was smaller, and it was actually in a room in the basement, a finished room. So the only natural light was coming from 3 small windows, no, 2 small windows. Here I'm on the main floor, which is great, which our dog Shayla loves because every time I'm getting something to eat, she comes wandering in. I can't even open a cookie jar without her hearing it. I make chocolate chip cookies, my little added touch to them. And when I make the chocolate chip cookies, she has to come in. She hears me take them out of the oven, and there she is standing there. She's a black field lab. Field labs are thinner and a little taller than regular labs. And she's the sweetest dog, but and no, I do not let her have the chocolate chips. I know somebody, hey, whatever, you're giving the dog chocolate chips? No, no. But I'll have some of the cookie dough on my fingers after I put them on the cookie sheet, and I make absolutely sure there's no chocolate chips, and I give her, she licks my fingers, and she makes sure she gets all 4 or 5 of my fingers on one hand, and yes, I wash my hands before I after she does that. Ew. And then I put the cookies in the oven, and we go through the same routine. But when I take them out of our cookie jar, they're in our Snow White cookie jar. I try to be real quiet because she can hear the lid. Of course, I know she can smell the cookies too. But next thing I know, there she is. So I have to break off a little piece of cookie, little tiny piece, to make sure there's no chocolate chips in it. She only gets one little piece. And our wonderful daughter-in-law, Sandy, is a vet technician, and yeah, you should see the looks I get from her every time I do that. when we have Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner at our house, are you feeding that dog? No, 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 not me. I'll put a little bit of top of his eye in there. Oh, he's looking creepy. Why don't we paint a little bit of eyeball in there, a pupil. That might look even creepier. Let's do the other one. A little bit of black. I'll go in and do some more with that. Put it on top of his eye here. Interesting thing about painting eyes, portraits. When you put the white into it, it's a neat little trick. even though what you're in reality seeing, or if you're working from a photo, let's say, the whole eye looks white and might have a little shading on the white part of the eye, have a little shading on one side that's on the darker side as opposed to the light side. But it gives a much more natural look to the eye. I'm putting a little bit of white in here right now on each side. And I'm going to mix a little bit of black in there, make some gray. You actually put a shadow across the top of the eye, right under the eyelid. Because if you don't, well, it just looks a little strange. Now, that's going to change a little bit as I get more into this, as I'm finishing this piece. Let me stop and see. Oh, hi, Cassie. Um, yes, your stretch room paint is the one that I'm doing next, which is the uh, woman sitting on a tombstone, last of four. Yes. Um, Woo, good to see you back. Well, thank you. It's great to be back. I am really enjoying this. I've got my timer on. I've got my coffee. Um, I've got good friends that have joined me. And yes, I know when I lean forward, you see there's Walt right behind me. That is a piece that was given to me when I worked at Disney with the other three artists, and I love that. And above Walt is the one of the original maps of Disney World. That's from like 1971. Um, we just got lucky we were there. And slurp, slurp. And also up there, you'll see the Electrical Light Parade right there, um, which Suzanne performed in many, many times. And right beside it, you'll see the shield that, get my hand the right way, the shield right there. That is one of the shields that was on the light poles of Main Street for the 200th anniversary of our country. So it says 1776 to 1976. When they took them all down after that year of celebration, they put them in the shop for the employees to purchase. I think I paid $30 for it. They went fast. I just happened to know somebody had told me about it before they put them down there. So, and below Walt's picture, there. Oh, I lost you for a second. I'm back. All right, don't go away. Anyway, so there's neat stuff all over here. I think you got a funny eye here. Okay, let's get back and do a little more on this guy here. Get some shading in his other eye. What I'm doing is putting the base flesh color on first, and then blending in with some burnt umber. Should have a little bit bigger brush right now, but that's working. I always seem to be in a hurry when I go to do these videos. Jacob, I didn't see if you're on, if you've joined, but if you are, you know this is your painting. I just did a sketch yesterday. I'm catching up on the sketches I have to do for people because I do a sketch, 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. I'll do a sketch of what the painting is going to look like before I, obviously before I paint it. The stretch rooms, I don't have to do that unless there's something really unique and we're making changes. But yeah, I've got 5 other sketches I need to get done. One in the Jungle Cruise. Let's see, one that's hitchhiking ghosts in front of the mansion. One of Anton Ego, and mouse his name went right out of my head. In the restaurants. God. Remy. Yes, Remy. Well, if you have just joined, again, I'm RJ Ogren. It's looks silly saying that over and over, but they suggest you do that when you're doing a video. Hey, I just saw our good friend Ben Dooley doing a live video just before I started. He was, I think, just finishing it up, and he was in Vegas, it appears. Oh, rough life. And this house we bought is in Aurora, Illinois. It is the second largest city in the state of Illinois, and it is called the City of Lights because it was the first city in the state of Illinois to have electric lights. Yes, did it before Chicago. And Paramount Theater, if you want to look that up in Aurora, is a masterpiece of a theater, and they do major Broadway road shows and everything there. And Big Comic's going to do a show there. In fact, our good friend Billy Gardell did a show there this past season. And yes, if you're familiar with Billy Gardell, our daughter graduated high school with him and was in drama with him. And I gave Billy his first job as in a comedy club. Their story. Well, look, it's a guy right here in front of me, right here on this stage. So everybody does works differently. And normally, I would block out all the colors on here, but I didn't have time. You see where I started doing the black on his coat. But I said, time is short. Get to it, RJ. Let's go over here and shade this in. A little bit of more burnt umber here and mix it in. So when I work with acrylics, I do a lot of I work very quick when I'm blending because it dries so fast. And then I will come back and do some dry brushing, do highlights and more shading after it dries. Some right on this side here. In case you're wondering why I'm reaching across, it's because the flesh color is right there. My setup is a little strange because at least I'm on the correct side of the painting here. To get this to work with the laptop so you can see what's going on. A little more highlight on his forehead here. See, this is dry, so I'm just going to brush that in there and kind of dry brush it around as I get less paint on the brush. Do the same thing with his nose. As he starts to take shape. And under his eye, you've got the little bit of highlight there, a little bit over here, and highlight on the cheekbone. Now, over the years, of course, most of you know, a lot of you know, I was audio animatronic artist. Someday I'll learn how to say that. Um, at Walt Disney World in the 70s. I left in 1980, uh, just as we were training artists to work on Epcot, and we had some very we had a great time. We had a lot of fun things happen, um, and I write about those in the books we have. Suzanne and I have written two books together that are Together in a Dream and Remembering the Magic, which is a sequel, uh, available on Amazon. And uh, also, I wrote a book called The Design of Fear about the Haunted Mansion and all the other haunted houses I've done over the years after I left Disney. And all of them in blacklight. So, oh, and I just had this happened today too. I just had the Napier Settlement, which is in Naperville, next town over from Aurora. And last year I helped make a haunted mansion for them for their big Halloween bash, and we did some blacklight, and I had a bunch of our actor friends come in, and we scared people. We made it based on H. Holmes in the White City, and it was pretty good. Except, unfortunately, the house, it's a big house, but we could only use 2/3 of the first floor to go through, so it made it a very short attraction. Um, but anyway, they were calling to see if I would do it again this year and make some more additions and changes. And I said, I am really busy. Sorry. So I'd much rather be sitting in my studio doing this, although I do enjoy doing haunted houses. And I certainly enjoyed working on the Haunted Mansion. It's one of my favorites by far. And a little bit of black in here to get some darker shading on this side. Now these stretch room paintings, the originals were done by Mark Davis, who all the concept art on the Haunted Mansion. And it turns out he was our main boss. He would come out from the studios once in a while and go through the attractions with us, make sure we were doing things right. Him and Wathel Rogers, and it was a great time. We had a lot of fun, told a lot of practical jokes. That's all in our books. Suzanne talks about being in characters, her time in monorails and in characters, and then entertainment management and all the people that we worked with over the years. A lot of stories, a lot of fun. And I do miss it. I wouldn't go back because it would never be the same. And the reason I left in the first place is because they were going to have Jane and I go over to a big warehouse in the back of the Disney property to supervise the new artists that we were training to work on Epcot. They eventually hired 50 artists to work there. A lot of the stuff would come already done from the Hollywood studios, Disney studios, but it had to be touched up, painted there at Disney World. Some of it A lot of the prop pieces and stuff were done there, but I they couldn't guarantee where Jane or I would be going after Epcot opened, and they had hired 50 artists, and it was only logical. We knew that when Epcot opened, they would, well, basically they'd fire everybody except for 3 or 4 people to work at Epcot, and some of those artists didn't believe us, but you know. And what we had in our studio behind uh, Small World was unique and one of those rare times that you can never get back. It was all going to change. Hey, it's the old guy. It's the guy in the Dynamite. Uh, like I started to mention before, is that Mark Davis actually did the concept art in charcoal on the originals of these figures. Uh, Took those and did them to the scale. It's actually about twice as big as this, or a little bit more. And 2 of the figures still look very similar. Uh, the one that looks the most similar would be not the ballerina. She changed a lot. The woman on a tombstone changed a lot. This guy changed. But the 3 in the quicksand are very similar to the original still. And then and of course, after a few years, they had to replace these because they roll up when the room stretches, or when it's back normal size, and it's just like a shade. And over time, of course, it could tear the canvas, and we'd fix it and repair it and have to touch it up exactly to match. And it's worked, worked quite well. But then other artists took over and painted new ones every so often. And each time it was different artists took over, it changed the figures a little bit to what they are now. Of course, now they do them as prints on the canvas. So let's see. Oh, way down here. Let me stop for a second and see what somebody. I have. Oh, Rosemary again. Hi. Oh, You have the frame pencil sketch of the cat boots that I did back in 1970. Wow. Yeah, that was before I went to work for Disney. Um, oh, thank you, Corey. Um, I enjoy doing this. And oh, Tina, hi in England. How's the chocolate? It was fantastic. Tina, uh, you live in the Lake District. She sent Suzanne and I chocolate, which we got about a couple of weeks before we uh, were moving, and it was so nice to sit down each evening after packing stuff and have some of that chocolate. Thank you. It was delicious. Uh, so yes, we just bought some more chocolate from C's. C's chocolate is fantastic, people. If you want to get some here, and there we go. And a little bit on a little bit of this rose color on his lips here, and yeah, it's nice to be back doing this. And I hope I haven't lost too many people in the process. I'll have to hopefully get more people back to watch the craziness as it proceeds. I did a little bit on his Mouth right there. There we go. Yeah, the original of this character is shorter and has a much longer beard. It's more squat. And for those of you who just joined, I was talking about Hamlet, which opens September 1st, and at Stacey D's School of Performing Arts. It's a black box theater that our son Sean is directing, and he also is playing Hamlet, and my wife Suzanne is co-directing, and I'm playing King Hamlet, the ghost of King Hamlet, in a voice like this. Yes. So they recorded my speech because I have this really long speech at one point, and it's really creepy. But 3 nights a week for a 3 week run, I think I would sound like that when I was doing these videos. Well, how is this today? You like this? I'm going. I had to record it last night. Now, after we were all done, I said I need a drink or a lozenge, one or the other. Oh, okay. I'll tell you what, we're going to put in a little bit of his eyebrow here. And so I'm using burnt umber and then some black. Like I say, I do this and then I will come back after I put a lot of this color in and then do some detailing to get it to match the original. A little more black there. And this is where I can also, and when I go back in afterwards, I can make corrections, obviously. Yeah. Okay. So, I like that. How's the chocolate? That's good. Oh, let me know if you want any more chocolate. Will do. Thank you. Yeah, Randy's back. Thank you. You guys are fun. Yes, I'm back in a bigger studio. What? How much time have I got here? Uh, got 11 minutes. Um, I'll stop in a minute and try to give you a view of the studio. Try not to make you seasick because since I did a short video, what was it, a week ago or so, uh, showing the space. I have, of course, then I had all the pictures up, but now I have all the other stuff up on the walls, and I'm using burnt umber again, and then going back in with the black. This, but that. Yay! If you just joined too, I'll tell you, I in the process of moving, I kept losing things, like the laptop. which if you didn't hear was very funny because it turned out it came over to the new house on the very first trip in the car, not in the truck, obviously. Uh, and I put it in a very safe place so it wouldn't get damaged or anything. And then after we were in the house, after the second day, we were living in the house, and I went in search of my laptop. I couldn't find it for 5 days. And and then I was up in our bedroom. We have these really nice side tables, and I opened the doors on the bottom, and there was the laptop right there. That's all that was in there. So I found the laptop. And then I couldn't find the power cord for 2 more days. So obviously, as we were getting down to the last bit of packing and stuff, it got pretty crazy. And oh, and this was funny. Suzanne kept asking me because we have a house phone that three of them are connected, and of course they plug in to keep their charge and everything. Yeah, one of these. Well, I couldn't find this. So he kept saying, "Did you find the phone so you could plug it in your studio?" I went, "No." And then she was unpacking stuff for the bar. We have two bars that are on either side of the door going out of my studio. That's a good spot. And I, she hands me the ice bucket and says, "We really don't have room for this. Can you put this in your closet? Because we don't use it that often." And I said, "Sure." And I set it in here on the day bed because this doubles as a guest room also, which we don't have people coming here all the time. And no, you can't come and lay on the bed and watch me paint. Sorry, there's just too many of you. But anyway, I I I got on my knees on the bed and I just put in the shades, which are darkening shades. Or actually they make it very dark in here, which I need when I do the black light paintings and stuff. And the bucket tipped over and out falls the phone and the cord. I had stuck it in the ice bucket for the move. So when I couldn't find my acrylic paints, Suzanne says, "Where do you think they are?" I says, "I don't know. They could be in with some clothes somewhere. Maybe they're in who knows? Maybe they're in with the tools." Why would they be in with the tools? I says, "Why would the phone be in with the ice bucket?" Anyway, uh, oh God. Oh, thank you, Melanie. Great to see you back live. Moving can make you crazy. You got that right. Uh, oh, sorry. Already booked the bed. Wait a minute. That doesn't sound right. That's good. Uh, yeah, somebody asked if I was going to use that for naps. Suzanne takes naps. I very rarely take a nap, but but it's nice because now if I want to, I can just walk 5 feet and lay down. There we go. Um, so get more of his beard in here so you can see what's going on before I get to the end here. Again, these are my base colors I'm putting in, and I'll come back and do detail on him, clean him up. It felt so weird to finally get back to painting because I haven't painted in 6 weeks. Oh my God. That's terrible. And I was starting to be reminded of what it's like when you stop painting, or when you take a break. Not a good idea. Um, I found that out years ago. I was quite young, and I decided I was too busy to paint at the time, and I needed to do some other stuff. But what happened was, time went on, and I kept finding excuses for not sitting down to paint again. And you, I'm sure some of you have done that with projects. You just put it aside, and you just can't seem to get back onto it. Well, what finally happened was I had to make myself sit down one day after a year and start painting, because if I didn't, I was never going to paint again. It sounds weird, but that does happen. And I've never stopped. Actually, this 5 or 6 weeks is the longest now I've gone without painting since that happened a long time. I started going, oh, wait a minute, I got to get back and paint. I've got to paint every day. And actually, when you're creating works of art, you get more ideas while you're working on stuff, things you want to paint, things you want to do. So it does help your creative process. So don't stop, whatever you're doing. Don't stop. Okay. Hey, actually starting to look like the guy. Whoa, cool. Actually, it's kind of fun when I'm painting these to find some things that I go, oh, that's kind of weird right there. I do put hidden keys in. I put them in places that don't take away from the painting. Oh, and I put hidden Mickeys on the sets that I do. So the set that you saw, which was at one end of the thrust stage, one end of the room, uh, actually has three hidden Mickeys. And one of the actors, first time we've done a show, or he's done a show with us, and he says, "So I heard you had three hidden Mickeys on the set." And I went, "Yes." I said, "One is pretty obvious, but the others you'll have to search for." As long as you don't do it while you're supposed to be saying your lines. Uh, I've done some big sets, like when I did Sound of Music, and did a huge set for that show, and I put something like 25 hidden Mickeys backstage and on stage. Um, and it got to be really funny because the kids in the show, they put up a tote board to see who could find all of them. They come around and ask me, and I said, I don't remember where I put them all. Okay, he has some weird hair. I'm going to stop and give you an overview of the room, and just leave him right there. It's very funny. Um, I'm going to do one thing here. Okay. See, look at that. I said I'm going to stop here and give you an overview of the room, and there's the timer. Timer going off. Okay. Stop. All right. Let me see if I can do this without making you all seasick. Um, you're, Melanie, you're still looking for stuff 2 years after you move. I can believe that. Um, but oh, wait here. Jamie, you asked, do I use oils or acrylics, and which do I like better? I started out in oils back in the actually when I was in high school, and when I got out of the service, started University of Miami, and I did mostly oils. I did those until about 1971, something like that. And then I started doing some acrylic work, and I transitioned over a few years, and now I do almost exclusively acrylics. I prefer it actually quite a bit more. Okay, I'm gonna roll around. Obviously, my chair moves, so I'm just gonna do this. All right, there's the day bed. I'm going to tip it up so you can see that is a Snow White bedspread that our daughter had growing up, and you can there's the ibis from University of Miami. Of course, there's a picture of Walt. There's pictures from theater, and there's Suzanne and I. So we have stuff way up there from theater, and I'm going to try to scoot around the easel. There's the TV on pause. I was watching Narnia. One of my That's one of my World War II paintings up there in black and white. And nope, I'm getting caught on the easel. Wait, oh, um, that wooden sword is from the play Fantastics, the musical that Suzanne directed, and when we owned our own theater, and I played one of the fathers, and our daughter actually played my daughter. But we had wooden swords as part of the show. And that comedy tragedy mask right above the sword, if you can see it there, I did that in my senior year of high school because I, of course, was in drama. And see if I can shove that easel out of my way. I think if I just stay on, trying to adjust this a little bit. Okay, everybody sick now? Okay, so there's the TV where I watch while I'm painting. I watch movies I've seen before. If I watch a new movie, I'll never get anything done. I'm going to stand up. Uh, there we go. Yeah. There's an original Peter Pan poster. I think it was better when I was sitting down. There's pictures of me working as an audio animatronic artist. All kinds of pictures on the back of the door. And there's a B-17 bomber model. I study World War II a lot, and I love models. I've got a couple more planes I want to do someday. I've got one model to do, and I've had it for 3 years. And then as we come around, you see there's some of our DVDs. One of the original Eyes and Ears, I think that's from 1982, I believe. There's a picture of our friend Mike Ruzioni, the hockey player, and there's Walt. Hey, oh wait, see? There's the dining room. Woo! And that's the door to the bathroom with Walt and more. And there's pictures. There's pictures of Suzanne and I with Liza Minnelli up there, and Joel Grey, and Gloria Swanson, Tommy Smothers, Mike Ruzioni. Letter from Alice Davis. There's John Davidson down there. And we're coming back around to my desk where I was painting. There's the marionette that our good friend Michelle gave me earlier in the year. And there's one of the stretch room prints that we own. And there's my desk, sort of, and a window. And horseshoes. Those horseshoes are actually from Tom Sawyer's Island. And then we're back around to the front, and with light shining in, oh boy. And I'm going to go over and show you something here. Bear with me as we go this way. I'll try not to fall over. Everybody there? Isn't this fun? Now, over here, yeah, that's a painting I did. There's a little Swedish flag. There's a British flag. Suzanne is British. Just my University of Miami diploma and an award I got from them. There is a print that Sean gave me years ago of Walt looking at the Peter Pan, looking at the boat on the Peter Pan's flight. And those four figures you see are actually stuck to the glass. And those are the figures I talk about in the book. They were on the moon in Peter Pan's flight, and when I left Disney, they gave me those figures which were stuck on the moon and then made new ones to put on the moon. They were actually just painted black. I then painted them with those. And we have these really cool things up here along the ceiling.